Are you looking to empower your team? Well, in this video, we are going to define empowerment, explore why this may be something that you want to do, and give you 3 tips to get you started. So today we're talking about empowering our teams. So what is empowerment? My definition of empowering our teams is to give your team the authority, the tools, and the flexibility to work autonomously. Everything you do as a leader is aimed towards adding value and advancing the organizational goals and mission. In order to do this, you need to ensure that the members of your organization feel valued and that they are able to do their best work without having to worry whether or not they are straying too far from the company's mission or the company's goals. Empowering our teams is about the delegation of responsibility, allowing our teams to maneuver within boundaries that are set by the leader. The last thing you want as a leader is to have your team members and your lower level leaders coming to you with every decision and every roadblock. Ideally, there are decisions and roadblocks that your team members and your lower level leaders should be able to get through and to decide themselves. This frees you up to be able to focus on what you should be doing at your level in the organization rather than getting pulled into the tactical detail level. That is something that you should not necessarily be getting involved in unless absolutely necessary. You should be trying to maintain a strategic level, big picture view of the organization so that you can lead the organization and add value to it. Now stay until the end because we are going to be giving you 3 tips to get you started today on how you can empower your team. Some of the benefits of empowering your team is that it actually increases innovation. So you as the leader might have an idea in your head as to how the task should be conducted. Well, if you simply give them the end state in which you would like the job done to, they can be innovative and they can find their own way to get there. It could potentially result in them finding a creative new way that you had never thought about and that could potentially be beneficial to the organization overall. Another benefit is that it increases trust. When your team members see that you trust them in making that decision, well, that is reciprocal and they will inherently trust you more too because they know that you see the potential in them and that you trust them with making those important decisions. As I mentioned before, it also increases productivity. If you're not getting pulled into the tactical level details, then you are freed up to be able to do the strategic higher level thinking that is required of you at your position. When you're both working on separate things concurrently, well, you're going to be more productive and you're going to get more done as a team as a whole. Now, some of the potential pitfalls of empowering our teams is that it's very dependent on the team and the team members. So in circumstances where you have a new team member or someone who is fairly inexperienced, maybe empowering them is not necessarily in the cards in the short term. That doesn't mean that they can't get there in the long term, but you need to build a certain level of trust and understanding of that member before you want to delegate them too much responsibility. So how you accomplish empowering your team is all about understanding. It's all about ensuring that the team members that you're trying to empower understand the overall system in which they're working and the boundaries in which they're allowed to maneuver. So what does this mean? Tip number 1 is that you need to ensure that your team, and I'm talking every person in that team, understands the organizational why. The company in which you're working in should have a purpose. Why does this company exist? What are they set out to do? What is their mission or their vision? A lot of companies have a mission statement or a vision statement. Well, these are some of the things that you need to ensure that you yourself as a leader within your organization and your team members are educated on, because then they can use this overarching purpose of the organization in their decision-making criteria. Tip number 2 is that you yourself as the leader need to ensure that you communicate your intent to your team. So similarly to the why of the organization, your individual team most likely has a purpose. Why are you as a team in existence. What is your why? If you don't have a defined why or defined mission for your team, now's the time to make one. You're the leader of that team, so it's up to you to ensure that it's there and that your team is constantly reminded of that mission. For the same reason as having to understand the why of the organization, it's critical to understand the why of your team. Your team, when they know that, will be able to make decisions and maneuver knowing what the overall purpose of the team is. All right, so tip number 3 is that you need to ensure that you identify the boundaries to your team members, the boundaries in which they are able to operate. So when your team understands and knows which boundaries in which they're able to operate, they will feel comfortable making those decisions and knowing how to maneuver and what it is you're looking for without having to come to you every single time. This is going to increase productivity of your team tenfold when you start to empower them this way, and it will allow them the opportunity to be innovative and creative, coming up with solutions that maybe you wouldn't have thought of. So get out there and empower your team so you can make more leaders. The more leaders and the more people we have that understand leadership and who empower people and care about people and listen and take action and add value, the better our organization will be and the better society will be. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me today. It was a really fun video talking about empowering our people. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and if you made it to the end of the video, comment below with a smiley face. All right, looking forward to talking to you guys in the comments. Organization. Budget. And if you don't, well, too bad.